I'm going to introduce tonight's speaker, Karen Yin, who is not only a 12 by 12 member, but also the author of Whole Whale was her debut picture book. It is fabulous. You can probably see the copy that I have on my shelf down there. Tonight, we're going to be reading So Not Ghoul, which I also love. And it's a big year for Karen. Later in October, her third picture book, Doug the Pug and the Kindness Crew, comes out from Scholastic. But I wanted to say, too, that you have a unique opportunity tonight to get to chat with someone who is really a word lover, a word person, and very conscientious about words and uses them beautifully. In addition to her picture books, Karen is the founder of the Conscious Style Guide, which is consciousguide.org. Highly recommend that you go and check it out. It is all about being inclusive in our language, both in written and spoken. There's a newsletter there, and there's a companion publication called Editors of Color, Tools for Diversifying Your Staff. I use it all the time. It's amazing. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and put up our socials if you want to grab them and ask Karen to come on down and join us in the chat. By the way, 12 by 12, we have our own social media. So I highly encourage you to follow us there. You'll find out all the goings on, including the book chats. And then as well, I have my own social media handles and Karen's, so you can follow all of us. Yay, there's Karen. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted that you've invited me, because when I was just starting out as a picture book writer, I really looked up to 12 by 12. And I don't know if you remember this, but you gave me a diversity scholarship. And then every time I would watch a webinar, I would be like, oh, maybe someday. So I'm just so pleased to be doing this for my colleagues. So this is my second picture book, So Not Ghoul, written by me, Karen Yin, and illustrated by Bonnie Louie. Let me get used to the camera position. Title page, which I had signed by the illustrator. Mimi doesn't look like the other ghosts, but she wishes she did. It's her first day haunting a new school, but all Mimi has to wear are old Chinese gowns from her great-great-great-great ghost grandmother, whose old-fashioned gowns are not that great. Good Chinese girl ghosts must cover their faces with their hair, says Baba, her father. Good Chinese girl ghosts must stick out their tongues, says Ye, who is Baba's father. Good Chinese girl ghosts must wear gowns that hang past their feet, says Zhen Zufu, who's Ye's father. And you may not arrive late to school like those American ghosts. But Mimi is American, Chinese American. And what do her ancestors know about fashion? She rolls her eyes. So not ghoul. 不错, her ancestors say, nodding with approval. Not bad, but show the whites of your eyes more. Remember, what scares the kitten does not scare the cat. When Mimi passes through the classroom walls, she gasps. The ghoul mates are rattling matching chains. Totally fearsome. A shroud of ghouls glance over. Mimi gulps. With a clink of her sparkly chains, Lizette curls her lip. That outfit couldn't scare a scaredy cat. The older ghouls titter as they glide away. Mimi is glad no one can see her face.
So I'm curious how you got started with this idea, because it's so beautifully executed and so fun and funny. But the deeper message is one that I'm just wondering where you started with, was it with the puns and the language? Was it the family?
I started this story because I wanted to write something about my childhood and how I had a heck of a time blending in. I was born in New York, and then we moved when I was 4 to Southern California, and then I lived like all over Southern California. So that meant I was always at a new school. Like every year or 2 years, I was at a new school. So I was always the new kid. And I often didn't look right. I didn't behave right. And of course, there was a lot of prejudice based on my appearance. So I wanted to kind of write something fun based on that really horrible experience. And I thought it's so cliched to write a story about being Chinese American and not fitting in, either with your parents who are Chinese or with school where they don't like Chinese culture stuff. So I thought, but what if I added this ghost layer? Like that changes everything. So I'm not just doing the same old thing with living humans, with children. I'm actually adding this really beautiful, and beautiful to me, this ghost layer, because I have always loved Chinese ghosts. They've always been like super freaky to me. There's a lot of emotional connection I have to them because it's stories that my mom used to tell me. And then Chinese ghosts also have not funny names, but the most literal names ever. Like the kind of ghost that Mimi is actually a 吊死鬼. And the reason why that type of ghost has a long tongue is because they were hung to death, or in her case, drowned. So like you could use that long for both types of ghosts. So it started with that. And then I was thinking, that's a fun premise, but then what's the next thing? I wanted to know where the story was going because I am totally a plotter. I can be spontaneous, I really can, okay. But I prefer not to be. Like I like to know where I'm going because it saves me time. I'm not a person who can just spend a lot of time thinking about stuff. I'm very visual. So I imagined the climax of this book about how another ghost who was mocking Mimi for how she looked steals her look and then becomes more popular because of it. And I said, that's it. I'm going to do a story that has cultural appropriation as a secret theme. So I wanted to be secret because I didn't know if editors would like this theme in a picture book. So I actually downplayed it a little when I was shopping it around. But it ended up that the editor who acquired it, she really loved that part, which I was really pleased by because I didn't know where the world was with how much you can make a story based on cultural appropriation.